Hey friends, let's learn how to play that dreaded F chord. We'll start by learning the strings, fingers and frets to use, then I'll show you the secret to getting it right and making it easier to play. So there's two reasons why this is hard. One is we're stretching over 3 frets, so we're using the first, second and the third fret there, and the only other time if you're a beginner you've done that is on the C and the D minor chord. All our other open chords, our simple beginner chords, are only using 2 frets or 1 fret there. The second reason this is hard is because we have to bar over 2 strings. So we've got to hold down 2 strings at the same time, and that's the only beginner's open chord we're doing that. So now let's talk through the chord and then I'll give you the secret how to get this right. So we're not playing the E and the A string. We're going to take our third finger, place it on the 3rd fret on the D string. So 4 up from the bottom there. Then take your second finger, place that on the 2nd fret, 3 up from the bottom on the G string. Now this is the hard part. We're taking our first finger and we're covering both the B and the E string on the 1st fret. So that's the chord there. Now let's learn the secret to it. Before we go on, if you're enjoying this lesson, please like and subscribe and say your day in the comments. We have new songs and lessons every week. You can also make a small donation on my Patreon page and that really helps me out. So let's get back into it. So the trick to getting this F chord right is all in our first finger. So we don't want it straight when we're playing the chord, it makes it way too hard. What we want to do is bend at this joint here. So whether you call it the second from the tip of your finger or the first joint from your knuckle, that's up to you. Just make sure we're bending that there. We've got to have a nice bend. Then take your thumb and push the tip of your finger so we go flat here. So we don't want this knuckle bent at all. The knuckle closest to the tip of your finger, we want that straight, and by pushing our thumb on it, it straightens it out. We're going to use the neck of the guitar instead of our thumb, but we want that L shape with our finger. As soon as I take my thumb off, my finger will bend again, and we don't want any bend in that finger on that knuckle, but we do want a good bend on that first knuckle there. So now take that shape, go down, keep pushing with your thumb. Then when you get on the bottom of the neck, we're going to take our thumb away and use the guitar this time to push that knuckle in. So we don't want to bend at all. As soon as you bend it, it's impossible to bar that bottom E string unless you've got really thick fingers. So we want that straight, and that's the key, with a bend here. So we've got that L shape. We'll go again, L shape there, straight down. Put it on and use the guitar and your thumb behind that to keep that bend in there. Now depending on your finger will be how much it bends. It doesn't matter if it bends a lot or a little, as long as our knuckle's not going that way there. So on the guitar, and that's the key to it there, getting that part straight and this part bent. I can't do it if I've got my finger straight, so bent and straight there. Now you can come off to the side a little bit with your finger, and that's okay. You don't have to be perfectly straight. It doesn't have to be straight lining up with the frets. Again, that makes it a little bit harder. Come off to the side, and then we place our other fingers on there, and that's it, F chord. Now, we've got to be on the tips of our fingers with our 2nd and 3rd finger, otherwise you will mute the strings under that. So tips of our fingers, this finger straight, and it can be off to the side there with a bend here. And that's the key to the F chord. Now knowing this doesn't mean you'll be able to play it really easily. That's just the starting. So a way to practice is just make the F chord, get that finger straight there, strum it 4 times, take your hand off, take the shape away, and then do it again. Now the key to any beginner chords is making sure you do it the same way every single time. Now what I mean by that is if I start with my first finger, then go my 2nd and my 3rd, do that every single time because we're trying to build muscle memory. Now if you start with your 3rd finger, that's okay, then go your 2nd and your 1st, that's fine as well. Just make sure you do it that way every single time you put the chord on. When you feel a little bit more comfortable doing some strums, taking it off and putting it back on again, then what you can do is actually play a chord, then go back to the F chord. Play another chord, go back to the F chord. Now it doesn't matter what we're doing, we're just practicing getting that shape. So you may start on the C chord, 4 strums, then go to the F chord, the D chord, back to the the F chord. I go to the G chord, back to the F chord, E minor, back to the F chord. That way you're doing F every second chord. It doesn't matter what chord you're putting in between it. We get much more practice with that F chord, and you can do that with all your chords. Whatever chord you're struggling with, you can do that there. Make it the second chord. Start with one chord, then go to the chord you're struggling with. You get to play it a lot more than just playing a song where you might only play the F 2 or 3 times in the song. This way you're doing F constantly. As I said, it's always a struggle for every beginner to get this F chord right, but stick at it, you'll get it. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this guitar lesson doing the F chord. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you're a beginner, I have an entire beginner's course all for free on my YouTube channel. So I hope to see you soon.